Hi, I'm Freddie Patmore and I'm here with Prima to teach you how to make this easy knitted headband. With a stylish twist at the centre, this is a great project for beginners because it uses basic knit and purl stitches and then just introduces you to the concept of cable. Okay, so we're going to start by casting on. We're going to cast on 8 stitches which form the width of the headband, starting with a slip knot. You can use any cast on method for this. Pop it in your left hand needle, and then we need 8 of those. So that's going in between the last 2 stitches that you cast on to make the next one. What we're going to do next is we're going to knit in stocking stitch until you reach the centre point of the head, which is where we do that cable twist. Now stocking stitch is knit 1 row, purl 1 row when you're working a flat piece. So whenever you're slipping a stitch, you want to do it in the same way as the rest of the stitches you're working across the row. So for your first one, which is a knit row, you're going to slip your first stitch as if to knit, like this. And then knit to the end of that row. When you're ready for row 2, you just change hands. So your knitted stitches that are to be worked are over in your left hand, and your empty needle is in your right hand to start with that purled slip stitch. So we're going to slip that purlwise like this. And then purl to the end of the row. You're going to keep repeating those 2 rows until you reach, like I say, that part of the centre of your head. So you can tailor the length and make it longer or shorter than I've suggested. If you're making them for somebody else, follow the recommended measurements because they're a little bit stretchy, so they'll be able to fit a different sized head if need be. Once you've reached the halfway point on your headband, you're then going to do the cable twist that we talked about at the centre. Start with a slip stitch to get you to the point where you're going to place your cable, and then this is where we introduce this 3rd needle, a cable needle, and that's just to move the order in which stitches are worked across your row. Take 3 stitches and pop them onto your cable needle from your left hand needle, like this. And this is called a cable 6 front, which means we leave them at the front and work across 2 sets of 3 to make 6. So leaving those 3 at the front, knit the next 3 from your left hand needle, and then knit the 3 from your cable needle. Finish the row with a knit 1, and then you should be able to see that stylish twist coming together at the front of your work. Carry on in the pattern until you reach the full length of your headband before casting off. When your headband's reached the required length, it's time to cast off. Start by knitting 2 stitches on the right side of the work, and then lift the first stitch over the second one and off the tip of your right hand needle. That's 1 stitch cast off. Then knit another stitch and lift that first one over the second one again to cast off the second stitch. Just keep going until you have only 1 stitch left, and then cut off your yarn and thread it through that last loop that's on your needle. So mattress stitch is how you create a seamless join on the front of your knitted pieces. It's a really great way to sew up your work and to give it a nice professional finish. Start by threading your yarn into a darning needle and then line up your 2 seams that you want to join together, looking at the right sides of the work with them facing you. Now, working going away from you, you want to pick up 2 loops at a time on one side and then move to the other side and pick up 2 loops at a time over there as well, like this. So over on one side, under 2 loops and up. Under on the other side, under 2 loops and up again. Pull it taut as you go, but not too tight, otherwise that seam will start to show. And just keep going until you reach the end of your piece. When you get to the end, just bring the yarn from the front of the work through to the other side and through to the back of the work, where you can darn your end in nice and neat and away from show. Turn your work over to the wrong side to darn your ends in, and work along the seam just to stitch that last end down like this. And then stitch back over what you've done to stitch the end you've just darned down again. Cut the yarn and repeat this with the end that you had from the beginning of your work to hide that too. And there you have it, your finished headband. Really hope you've enjoyed this knitting tutorial with me today. Head on over to prima.co.uk for more knitting and crochet videos.